feminine archetypes. They've been fascinating me for quite a while, not just to understand them, but more understanding how we as women have a wide range of energies and have so many different aspects available for us to serve us and to best show up in any situation we face. Having knowledge how they provide us with the opportunity to evolve through understanding them and their wide range of attributes can provide resources for any situation we face and find ourselves in. Using archetypes as tools throughout life is incredibly powerful and can make our lives easier and goals be attained smoothly. I hope you find them as fascinating as I do and become curious where they live within you and how you can call on them to enrich your life. Welcome to Her Second Stage, the podcast dedicated to inspiring successful women in the next stage of their lives. I'm Hilda Lunderstedt, and I'm excited to share the lessons I've learned as I transitioned into my second stage. Join me on this exciting journey of sisterhood and remembering who we are at our core. Remember, no matter where you've been, the best is yet to come. Ever notice or witness how different aspects of you show up at different times and in different situations? Some days you're the nurturer, the caregiving mother, and other days you're the fierce warrior ready to take on the world. And no, you're not unstable or imagining it. You're simply bringing a different essence or aspect of yourself to a different situation where they are needed. These aspects of you are tapping into different feminine archetypes. You would have heard that word by now before in my other episodes, or possibly it's a new concept to you. Whether it's a new concept or whether you've heard it and this is just a refresher or a reminder for you, I would like to invite you to understand the archetypes, explore who they are, why they matter, and how understanding them can help you live a more fulfilled, aligned, and powerful life. Doing so will provide you with awareness, tools, and the understanding of how these aspects of you can help you create the most extraordinary second stage of life. To bring us all on the same page, let's understand what exactly the archetype is or an archetype is. Archetypes was coined by Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist, who described them as universal symbols and patterns of behavior that exist across all cultures, all time periods, and in all human experiences. What this means is that the archetypes are embedded in our collective unconscious, shaping our emotions, stories, and personal identities. It's a kind of blueprint for human experiences and shapes how we act, think, and respond to situations. But I want to put it to you this way, and for your consideration, that they could also be our source of energy and power that we need if we want to be all that we are meant to be in this lifetime. Think of archetype as a timeless character that appears over and over again in mythology, storytelling, and even in our everyday lives. Understanding the archetypes throughout history, we can understand ourselves and others better. We need to understand that they are us. We are them. And they influence how we behave, how we interact with the world, and even how we see ourselves. To put it simply, archetypes is like inner guides, energies that exist within us. Sometimes we lean into one archetype more than another, depending on the situation or where we are in life. For example, someone could be that natural mother energy, nurturing, comforting when she needs to be. But that same woman can carry herself with undeniable queen energy, powerful, graceful, and in control in a different situation and circumstance. And this is where you see the archetypes at play. And if you're still wondering at this point, why is this important to me? Let me tell you, women of all ages, but especially as we hit our midlife, spend decades in roles such as career woman, mother, partner, friend, to name a few. And most of us have been prescribed what that role should be and what it should look like to fit in to our role as female in society. This not only limited us, but stifled us as we ignored a whole spectrum of aspects of ourselves we never discovered. And this is the reason why we should take cognizance of the power of the archetypes. Living a life with only some aspects alive in us is not living fully. Only by exploring and playing fully with all of our attributes, talents, whatever you want to call it, do we enrich ourselves fully, and we can experience the full spectrum of who we are, and more importantly, who we can be. Studying and understanding the female archetypes is an opportunity to connect with so much more of ourselves beyond our current role we play. When we learn how to consciously connect with them, activate them, call on them, and integrate them, we can step into our most authentic and powerful self. For example, if you've been feeling stuck or uninspired, you may need to activate the muse or creatrix archetype, the part of you that's expressive, artistic, and full of ideas. And if you've been too focused on serving others and feeling a little drained, it might be time to call in your queen, the one who knows how to set boundaries and own her throne unapologetically. In these two examples, you can see and understand that the archetypes isn't just about self-awareness, it's about self-liberation. When you understand the archetypes and where they feel most comfortable in you, you'll gain clarity about your strengths, but also where your opportunity for you to widen your range through calling in the ones that you are either scared of or are suppressing. You will also understand why you behave in certain ways and how you can evolve. The archetypes will also provide you with knowledge on how to step into your power by accessing all of you and live aligned with who you truly are. For us women in our second stage of life, archetypes are especially powerful. Maybe you've been playing a role in life that no longer fits you, perhaps the caretaker of your family, the achiever in your career, or the innocent trying to please everyone. Perhaps it's time to embody your queen, your alchemist, your wise woman. It does not mean you let go of the mother, the maiden, or your warrior. It means you widen your range of energies for different stages of your life. Understanding archetypes helps you redefine yourself for the exciting next chapter of life. Did you know that most stories we grew up with, movies and mythology, are based on archetypes? When you study and understand them, you will see that they're at play, and you'll notice them literally everywhere. I'm dedicating a full episode to go deep into all the 12 archetypes. This episode is just an introduction, and for us to have some fun looking at a few well-known, even famous examples, so you can recognize and acknowledge where they can be found inside of you, or if you should be aware of opportunities for yourself to grow and expand. Here are a few archetypes which serve us in our second stage. The Queen. Think of Queen Elizabeth or Cleopatra owning their throne. The Queen is a powerful, visionary, wise, and commanding respect. She makes courageous decisions for the betterment of humanity. She leads with authority. She's a clear channel of refined and inner strength. She creates legacies, and she's the ruler of her domain. The warrior. Wonder Woman would be a perfect example of the warrior archetype, fierce, independent, and driven by justice. In real life, Serena Williams embodies that warrior spirit in every match. Sarah Connor from The Terminator is also another great example of a woman in her warrior archetype. Both these women fight for what they believe in, and they stand strong in the face of adversity. The lover understands that self-awareness is her superpower inside of any relationship. Her boundaries are clear, she's wild at heart, and with her mission to source the pure frequency of love while she's going deep into the realms of intimacy. She doesn't hold back, but she's not just about romance. She also represents passion for life, for creativity, and for beauty. Think of Rose from the Titanic, willing to risk everything for love. Marilyn Monroe or Aphrodite in Greek mythology. These women embodied the sensual and passionate lover archetype. The wise woman, or the crone. This archetype helps us embrace aging as a sacred journey rather than a limitation. In mythology, she's this crone, the oracle, the shaman, the grandmother figure who holds deep wisdom. In The Matrix, she's the oracle, and in Harry Potter, she's Professor McGonagall. The sage flows with change while staying present in her evolving intuitive process. She cultivates a peaceful inner life while sharing her visionary wisdom with the world. Women like Maya Angelou, Oprah Winfrey, and Brené Brown are modern-day sages. The mystic? The mystic is the power of the divine timing. She embodies an heightened awareness to what happens to the natural world and to the ordinary synchronicities of everyday life. Glinda, the Good Witch in Wizard of Oz, guiding Dorothy with wisdom and magic, is an example. Other real-life examples would be Louise Hay and Pema Chodron, as they are highly spiritual women. These are some of the 12 archetypes, and you can see that each have a very different essence, and also understand how each one is a little different from each other. You will see that you also, perhaps without being aware even, have these energies within you. We also have the maiden, the mother, the creatrix, the wild woman, the huntress, and the warrior, each with her own attributes, characteristics, and range she calls forth. You get the understanding how much power and expansion we are being provided with as women when we have all of these as our resource. And I think it's pretty awesome. As I discussed them, did you recognize them within you? I hope you noticed several. If you start engaging and exploring the archetypes consciously, it would be interesting for you to feel which one you embody most comfortably, as they will show up more dominant in your life. Also explore which ones you are scared of or intimidated by, and therefore you might be pushing that aspect of yourself away. This could be an interesting opportunity of self-awareness and reflection. When you embark on empowering, resourcing, and expanding your range by working with archetypes, remember, balance is the key. When one archetype is dominant too much, we may feel out of balance. For example, if you've been in your warrior mode for years, pushing through, hustling, fighting for success, and you might feel exhausted, that's a sign to need potentially calling your lover, that nurturing energy, or your wise woman archetype to restore your sense of balance and your sense of self. To understand yourself a little better, ask, what archetype have I been the strongest in my life so far? Are there any archetypes that I've suppressed or ignored? What part of myself do I want to reclaim? It is important to remember that we are all of them. You are the queen, the warrior, the mother, the wise woman, all rolled into one. And you should always remember that you have access to all 12 archetypes as a resource for what you need to achieve or to get done. Here are simple practices you can do. Every morning, ask yourself, which archetype do I need today? If you're stepping into the leadership role, call in your queen. If you need to set boundaries, embody your warrior. If you want to connect with creativity, activate the creatrix. And if you need healing and introspection, call on the wise woman. Give yourself permission to shift between them. That's the beauty of being a woman. We are multifaceted, we are dynamic, and we hold incredible power when we learn to embody all parts of ourselves. And when you integrate all of them, you step into your full radiant power. Archetypes are powerful tools for self-discovery. They give us language for who we are, where we've been, and who we are becoming. So here's my challenge for you this week. Pay attention to the archetypes in your life. Notice where the queen, the lover, the sage,